Good evening. We come to you from the Tate Auditorium at the Southwest Texas Junior College campus in Uvalde, Texas. I'm Dr. Robert Munoz, Sul Ross State University's Rio Grande College Vice President, and serving as your moderator this evening. This Meet the Candidates Forum and web series is sponsored by the Southwest Texas Junior College and Sul Ross State University Rio Grande College. Tonight, we meet candidates in the Southwest Texas Junior College Board of Trustees and the Uvalde Consolidated Independent School District School Board elections. The Southwest Texas Junior College Government Department has designated the format. Each candidate will be called up and have a 2-minute introduction. We will then ask 2 questions, where each candidate will have 2 minutes to answer these questions. Earlier, the candidates drew numbers to determine tonight's order. Several candidates are not able to be here due to conflicting schedules. These candidates are Menda Mata, Edward Trevino, and Rene Nolasco. For the record, the questions come from members of the Southwest Texas Junior College Government Department and have not been shared with the candidate. The event is being conducted in adherence to CDC guidelines, and everyone in attendance was screened before entering the facility. So let's begin. At this time, I'll ask Mr. Tony Moreno to come up and tell us a little bit about himself.
It's on? Okay. Oh, okay. It's always hard to be the first one, but I will do my best. And first of all, I'd like to say my prayers go out to Brian and his family. I understand there's been an incident, and so we pray for him and hope that his family is doing well. I'd like to start off by introducing myself. My name is Tony T. Moreno. I am running for re-election for the SWTJC Board of Trustees, Place 4. I have been on this board since 2002 and ask for your support to remain on this board so I can continue to serve this college, its students, and the communities that it serves. I bring a wealth of knowledge, dedication, and experience to this position. I was born and raised in Uvalde 61 years ago. My parents are former Commissioner Jesse Moreno and Andrea Moreno. I graduated from the Uvalde High School in 1977 and obtained my Associate of Arts degree from SWTJC in 1979. My time at SWTJC was a life-changing experience for me. While there, I gained the knowledge and confidence which prepared me to go on into the healthcare profession. I was accepted in 1982 at the University of Texas Medical Branch in Galveston and earned my Bachelor of Science degree in Healthcare Sciences, including my Physician Assistant certification. In 1984, I came home to become the first employee and CEO hired to establish, develop, and organize the federally qualified health center here in Uvalde, which is now known as the Community Health Development Incorporated. I have worked as a physician assistant for 38 years and continue my life's passion in caring for people's health in rural, underserved communities.
Mr. Moreno, it's time to move on to the questions, sir.
Oh, okay.
All right, sir. And your first question, sir. As a sitting trustee, what are the 2 main issues facing Southwest Texas Junior College? And what is your solution to these issues?
2 main issues?
Yes, sir.
The first one certainly right now that has come to light is this pandemic. And this pandemic has created a big conglomerate of problems for us as far as the students, faculty, staff, administration, and the board, of course. I think that we've approached it very well. We are very confident in what we're doing right now. Mr. Rick Jones has taken the lead on providing us with a lot of insight and properly addressing all the issues from social distancing. The administration has been very helpful in its doing the schedules for the students, keeping everyone away. We basically closed the campus down as much as possible to try and keep everybody away, but we're doing the virtual teaching and learning aspects of it. So I think administration has done a very great job, the faculty has done a great job, and our staff has done a great job to address the issues at hand.
Right, sir. And what are your solutions in tackling these issues?
I think at this point we support basically our staff, we support administration, we support our faculty in doing the best we can for the students. And I think we've done an excellent job at that at this point.
Thank you, sir. Your second question. Even before the pandemic, there has been an increasing trend of online classes. Should Southwest Texas Junior College expand its online classes? And what should the long-term strategy be in terms of internet learning?
I think that's kind of the wave of the future, and we've adjusted to it very, very well. I think the students nowadays, that's what they expect and that's what they want. As far as our faculty has also adjusted to this issue also. And they've addressed that and they've go through proper training. We've also purchased the computers necessary for all this on-site learning. But it's a wave of the future, so we have to follow that trend at this point.
Right, sir. Thank you, Mr. Moreno.
Okay. Do we have any closing remarks? No?
No, sir.
Okay. Thank you.
Not on the agenda. At this time, we're going to begin with our 7 candidates for the Uvalde Consolidated Independent School Board of Trustees. Our first candidate is Mr. Calvin Lambert. You will have 2 minutes, sir, to give us some background on yourself, and then we'll go into the 2 questions, sir.
Okay, thank you. I'm Cal Lambert. To a lot of people, I'm better known as Master Chief. I was raised in Abilene, Texas. I'm the oldest of 7 siblings. I enlisted in the Navy in 1968 after a year of college, and then I volunteered to go to Vietnam, and I did a combat tour in Vietnam. I served 26 years, and I retired in 1993 after serving in Desert Storm. I earned my Bachelor of Science degree in vocational education from Southern Illinois University while on active duty. After my retirement from the Navy, I became an ROTC instructor, and for the next 25 years, that's what I did. I spent the last 19 years at Uvalde High School as the senior instructor of the ROTC program. In 2016 and 17, I was the UCISD Secondary Teacher of the Year, and for Region 20, and I was the runner-up, or one of the 3 finalists, for Teacher of the Year for the state of Texas. I also received the Trinity Prize for Excellence in Teaching. I'm currently on the board of directors for the El Progreso Memorial Library and vice president of the class of 2021 Booster Club. Uvalde has been my home for the past 21 years. My wife, Rachel, is the principal at La Pryor High School. My daughter is a veteran and a PE teacher in UCISD. My son is a former Marine and a businessman in Idalou. Rachel and I have grandchildren attending UCISD schools from grades 3 to a senior in high school. My grandkids are Hispanic, African American, Chinese, and Caucasian. Some are adopted and some have special needs. So I have a very good understanding of the diversity of diversity and the importance of an equal education for all of our children.
Mr. Lambert, we're out of time there, so we'll move on to the questioning portion.
Okay.
What are the current challenges facing Uvalde Consolidated Independent School District, and what is your role as a board member in facing these challenges?
I believe, of course, the number one challenge facing the school district right now is the COVID-19 pandemic and having to adjust, for kids to adjust and teachers to adjust, and I think they've really done a great job from what I know from experience with my own grandkids and what I see going on in the district. I believe what we have to keep in mind during this time is kind of relates to Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and that is the safety of our kids and our teachers and our support staff. Sometimes they get left out. And I believe that there's meeting the needs of their social and emotional needs are important. And I think instruction is last. I think without the first two, instruction's not going to take place.
Thank you, sir. Your second question. How do you discuss topics where there is a strong disagreement and remain civil? Said another way, how can the board work together with differing opinion?
I think the boards should probably work together based on what communication is with the community, especially with the teachers, and they're the ones that are where the rubber meets the road. And when the school board does policy and establishes policies and regulations, I know what it's like to walk in their shoes. I did it 25 years. And I believe they should be heard. I believe the community should be heard, and transparency should exist. I'm not saying that it doesn't. I just think that we can do a better job, and I'd like to be a part of that.
Thank you, Mr. Lambert. Appreciate your time with us this evening. Our second candidate is Mr. Robert Fowler. Mr. Fowler, you have 2 minutes to give us a little bit about yourself.
Thank you. Recently, I attended a workshop. It was an update on education at Benson campus, and it was Texas Association of School Boards. Bill Rutherford led the session, and he talked about we're in a time right now of grace. It really hit me in a position that we're going to have to be flexible with each other. We're going to have to be patient with each other. We're going to have taking on and overcoming things we haven't faced before. But at the same time, I think we should dream big. I think we should dream to have a better, a bigger, a bolder, more robust educational experience for the students and all of our community, the staff as well. So my name is Rob Fowler. I'm encouraged every day by my beautiful wife, Landra. She encouraged me to be a volunteer. My daughters, Mabel and Macy, they inspire me every single day. And all of them went to UCISD along with myself. And I've heard before from Denzel Washington. He said that if you want something you've never had before, you're going to have to do something you've never done before. And we're doing something that we've never done right now. But I believe in UCISD. But I don't want to lose the fact that we need to encourage our learners today to be leaders tomorrow. We don't want to teach them what to think. We want to encourage them how to think, how to be critical thinkers, develop teamwork, effective communication, and have pride in their community. My dad, Bill Fowler, he taught me how to be caring and nurturing. We have a caring and nurturing educational team at UCISD. I would fall, but my dad would always be there to pick me back up. And we're going to pick each other up through this right now.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
And so your first question, and these will be the same. What are the current challenges facing Uvalde Consolidated Independent School District? And what is your role as a board member in facing these challenges?
School is fun. Dr. Munoz, I think a lot of times students are worried about getting it wrong. And in fact, in growth mindset, you have this unshakable confidence that getting it wrong just means there's another way of doing it. And I think in our educational system, we got to think of out of the box in a way that we can accommodate. You're trying more activities to have, academic excellence, athletic excellence, but just taking the opportunity to try. And if it goes wrong, it's like it's just another way that it's not going to happen.
Thank you, sir. Your second question. How do you discuss topics where there is a strong disagreement and remain civil? Saying it another way, how can the board work together with differing opinions?
My daughters, we've watched Disney Channel a lot. And I tell you what, I watched Tony and Vivian one morning, and they were getting emotional. And Tony and Vivian said, hey, we live in the human race, my friends. And I know there's distinctions and categories, but for me, when I look at someone, I'm looking at a human being. And I would take the role to be neutral. I would take the role to encourage. And when we can see eye to eye with things, you know, Mother Teresa said it, if you don't get a chance to know someone, you don't get a chance to love someone. So I think that's the best route.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate your time.
You're very welcome.
Our third candidate, Ms. Ora Perez. Whenever you're ready, Ms. Perez, you have 2 minutes.
Thank you. Good evening. My name is Laura Perez, and I am seeking re-election as a school board trustee at the at-large position. I am born, raised, and graduated from Uvalde High School, as long as my husband has also. We have 3 children, Bianca, Roland, and Adiana, who are all 3 graduates of Uvalde High School. I started my journey at Southwest Texas Junior College, where I received an Associate of Arts, and I graduated from their LVN school. I am a nurse at Uvalde Memorial Hospital. I've been there 18 years, graduated nursing school Saturday, started on Monday. During that time, I've also spent 6 years working for the district as a adult and pre-K nurse, and then ending as the high school nurse. I have 2 beautiful grandsons. I just want to say that I am seeking re-election. I am asking for your support. This is my first year, my first term, and it has been amazing.
Thank you. And we'll move on to
Yes,
your 2
sir.
questions. What are the current challenges facing Uvalde Consolidated Independent School District? And what is your role as a board member in facing those challenges?
The obvious is COVID-19, obviously. Our teachers have had to learn how to teach from a computer online, teach our students, and at the same time be able to be engaged with those students. We've seen a lot of change, and our teachers have really stepped up. Our parents have come to us. Our teachers have come to us, voiced their concerns, and we've listened. Like we have listened. And we'll continue to seek guidance from the CDC, from, you know, whatever those guidelines are. That is what we have to do for the safety of our children and our teacher. And of course, state funding. You know, state funding is going to be crucial, you know, because of this pandemic. Will we stay open? Will we face another shutdown? I mean, these are things that we talk about all the time, and these are things that we have to address.
Thank you, ma'am. Question number 2.
Yes, sir.
How do you discuss topics where there's a strong disagreement and remain civil? Said another way, how can the board work together with differing opinions?
We do work together, and we all have different opinions, but I think what works for us is that we respect each other. We respect each other. I've been a part of discussions where I feel like I stood alone, but I wasn't judged or criticized or talked about. I was heard, and I was understood, and then we speak to each other. It's a respect. You have to, because you don't have to like each other, but we're here for the teachers, we're here for the students, we're here for our district. And if we're gonna be stronger, then we have to be stronger together. And that's very important. We cannot be divided, but we should voice our opinions.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Our 4th candidate, Mr. Luis Hernandez. Whenever you're ready, sir, you have your 2 minutes to give us some background.
Okay. Good evening. How are you doing? Thank you so much for being out with us. Just like to say, my name is Luis Hernandez, and I am running for re-election for Board of Trustees on Uvalde CISD board and at-large position. I've been in education starting year number 16 in higher education, working for Southwest Texas Junior College, currently working as a Business, Industry, and Technical Studies Division Chair. I've also worked as an international student advisor. I've worked as a registrar and director of admissions, and also do some teaching, so as a profession of teaching. So I have a pretty good, well-rounded area when it comes to education, and education has really been my life. You know, starting from pre-K when I went to school. You know, I was born and raised in Sabinal, but I've called Uvalde home for the last 12 years. And so education has basically been my savior, basically of where I'm at today, because I don't think without education I'd be doing the things that I'm doing today. And so education has always been the root of me, of how it drives me, because I came from a family where education wasn't very a strong suit. It was basically get through high school, go to work, and let's get going. But so now I had a lot of mentors along my way, and I feel like this is my way of paying back to society to help those students that may be in the same shoes that I was back then, and doing what's best for them. I have been part of the Uvalde Area Chamber of Commerce. I was president for a year and then served on the Chamber of Commerce for a total of 4 years. Just yesterday, I received a notification from our TASB advocacy group that I was just selected out of 36. There's 36 congressional districts, and I was the only one selected out of Congressional District 23 to represent Texas at Washington, D.C. at the Advocacy Institute. So I'm really excited about that, to not only put myself on the map, but put Uvalde CISD on the map as well, out there on the national stage. And so I really would appreciate and humbly ask for your vote. So please select Luis Fernandez for Uvalde CISD Board of Trustee.
Thank you, sir. And we'll move on to the question portioning.
Okay.
What are the current challenges facing Uvalde Consolidated Independent School District, and what is your role as a board member in facing those challenges?
Well, there's a lot of them. Of course, COVID is whatever, as the others have mentioned, is a big one. But of course, COVID is driving a lot, and a behind-the-scenes issue that's affected the state as a whole, which is funding. Finance is going to be a big piece. You know, I was just in a session on last week. Texas is predicted to be in about 4.6 billion shortfall when it comes to revenue. They have about 8.5 billion in a rainy day fund that they may be able to pull to satisfy that balance. But if we look back at history in 2011, when there was a shortfall, education was what took a big hit. So as an institution, as a board, we must definitely work with our superintendent to look at our budgets, to look at our finances. What is it we can do now so we can be prepared for the future, not wait till 2021, because next year is a biennium, so a new budget will come in, and then there's another one in 2023. So we got to make sure we stay ahead of it, so that way, because we got to protect our teachers' jobs, we got to protect our students to make sure resources aren't cut, and the only way we can make that happen is with funding. And with taxes being cut, with restrictions on how much tax base you can do, there's only so many pockets of money, and so when it's not there, whatever we can do today to get prepared for the future, the better it will be for our teachers to secure their jobs, to secure those HB3 raises they solely deserve, and also keep those resources for our students that they also need to be successful in their careers.
Thank you, sir. Your second question: how do you discuss topics where there is a strong disagreement and remain civil? Said another way, how can the board work together with differing opinions?
Well, a lot of it has to be teamwork. You have to work as a team. I've coached basketball teams in the past, and I always relate a lot of things to sports because that's what analogies. And so you always got to have that shooter, you got to have that point guard, you got to have your defender, you got to have your rebounder. And if you don't have that team, and everybody wants to be a shooter, well, you're not going to win the game because you ain't got no defense. So same things with the school board. You got to work together as a team. Work with our superintendent, who's our only employee, who we got to give him his goals of what we want, where we want our school to be, and then let us know where we're headed on those goals and what we can do to help support him in those goals. Because at the end of the day, anything that gets decided in those closed doors, that gets discussed with our superintendent, ultimately is who we serve the most, which is our students. Because without students, there's no need for teachers. Without teachers, no need for superintendents. Without superintendents, there's no need for a board. So we've all got to work together. And we have discussions behind the scenes, and closed sessions, and we agree to disagree. Everybody has opinions. Everybody has their thoughts, and that's perfectly fine. But at the end of the day, when we walk out of those doors and come out to the public, and what we say to the public and how we express ourselves to the public must be a united front. Because just like in a team, when you have a basketball team and there's a disgruntled player, and it goes to the news, it goes to the outlets, there goes that team, and it don't matter, no championship for that team. But whenever you see those, people are going to be crazy because I'm going to say the Spurs, but you see at that franchise, they all work as a team, they're all humble, they all say the right things, and they've had a very successful time. And so I see that also with the board, having that unity, that it's okay to disagree, but at the end of the day, let's do what's best for our students.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Really appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
We'll move on to our fifth candidate, Mr. Kyle McKeon. Did I say that correctly? All right, sir. You have your 2 minutes to give us some background.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Kyle McKeon. I'm a married father of 2 boys. I have one that attends Flores Elementary and one at Morales Junior High. My wife and I moved to Uvalde in 2007 with work, and we decided that this was going to be the place that we called home and raised our family. I have recently retired from law enforcement with the Border Patrol and currently have turned an antique and collectible hobby into a small business, which keeps me busy and usually dirty here in town and online. I've coached baseball and soccer here in Uvalde and enjoy watching the kids figure the thing out. There's nothing more rewarding to me than guiding a child from chasing butterflies in the outfield to turning a double play all by themselves without me having anything to do with it. It's one of the most satisfying things in the world to watch these kids develop. But tonight we're here because of education, and I believe in the transformative power of education. I believe that education is a great equalizer, which is capable of defeating nearly any barrier to advancement or success that we face as humans. Through education, the more education we have and the more education that's available, the more control we have over our own destiny. And I think that once we can self-realize our own destiny, we're more able to be a part of the community and help move the community forward. So I am proud of everything that the board has done over the last couple of years, and I'm excited to be a part of it.
All right, sir. We'll move on to your questions. What are the current challenges facing Uvalde Consolidated Independent School District, and what is your role as a board member in facing these challenges?
Well, I think everybody's done a pretty good job of covering the obvious, the COVID and the resources that are associated with that. But I think as this thing goes on, that the board's primary role is going to have to be mining resources, and as Luis mentioned, looking towards the future, planning is going to be crucial to be able to utilize what resources we do have to be able to make it through.
Right, sir. Your second question. How do you discuss topics where there is a strong disagreement and remain civil? And saying it another way, how can the board work together with differing opinions?
I think that we all have to start from a point that we're there to accomplish the providing of education for our kids. So it's not like any of us are in a contest to accomplish something over the other. We're trying to get it done for the kids, for our community, and I think it shouldn't be difficult for grown-ups in this day and age to be able to do that. It seems like it is sometimes, but we're blessed to be in a community like we have. It's small enough to where we should all be connected in one way or another, and we should be able to represent all kinds of different viewpoints and to make sure that all the bases are covered for our kids, for the teachers, for everybody involved.
I want to thank you for your time, sir.
Thank you.
Candidate number 6, Ms. Elisa Gonzalez. And whenever you're ready.
Okay. My name is Elisa Gonzalez. I was born and raised in Uvalde and have lived here for the majority of my life. I have 3 amazing kids, all who have graduated here from UCISD. 2 are now licensed insurance agents, and my youngest is a licensed real estate agent while pursuing his degree. So I started my first business 20 years ago here in Uvalde, and I feel like I'm truly vested in this community, and I'm proud to be from Uvalde. I was appointed to the board representing the East Zone in last May of 2019, and for the past nearly 18 months, have had the privilege of working with an amazing group of trustees with one common goal, which was the betterment of our students and staff. I'd also like to add that it's not always been easy. It's not an easy task to be a trustee. We face making hard choices, self-sacrifice, and exposure to public criticism. But the rewards come in sharing successes with our students, parents, and staff. Thank you.
Thank you. And you'll have the same questions as the others.
Yes.
What are the current challenges facing the Uvalde Consolidated Independent School District, and what is your role as a board member in facing these challenges?
As you've heard, COVID has definitely been on top of everybody's mind, and I think we've handled it very well. It's not the only challenge. Our schools need upgrading, and we definitely, talked about bond elections, hopefully, maybe in the future to maybe have some improvements in some of our schools, which would be, great.
Question number 2, how do you discuss topics where there are strong disagreements and remain civil? I'm saying it another way, how can the board work together with differing opinions?
Everybody has their own opinion, and I've been blessed. I've been in the board 18 months almost, and it's never gotten ugly. Everybody respects each other, and it's easy to voice your opinion and discuss your opinion and be heard, and then, as was said, we come out as a united front and decide what's best for the staff and students.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, John. Our 7th and final candidate this evening for the Uvalde Consolidated Independent School District Board is Ms. Tina Ann Quintanilla-Taylor. I'm proud that I got to roll that just right.
It's a long name. Thank you for having me here this evening. Good afternoon. My name is Tina Ann Quintanilla-Taylor. I was born and raised in Uvalde. I graduated from Uvalde Independent School District in 1999. It feels good to step on the stage because I was in Dr. McCluskey's class in theater, and it was so much fun. So it's kind of reminiscing back on the stage. I am currently housed here at the junior college. I'm a TRIO academic advisor. I have served on PTO boards for Dalton Elementary and also for the Avance programs. While away, I graduated from Sam Houston State University, Eat 'em Up Cats, with a Bachelor of Science degree in kinesiology, athletic training, and a minor in health. I came back home and I started a family because I was approaching 30 and had not had children yet. So started a family. I have a child, Winston. He is 5. He's in special education. And I have a daughter. She is 7. She's at Anthem, and she's in general education. So for me, diversity means a lot. I've had a lot of experience dealing with a lot of diversity, and I've traveled around the world, and cultivating those experiences and bringing back the differences is my most prized possession. I am seeking the at-large position. You can vote up to 3 positions that are running up for 3 positions. I respectfully ask for your vote. I'm here to support the students, the teachers, the staff, and the community. And so without all of that, none of us would have jobs, and so, let's progress. Let's not regress. So I'm excited to be here today, and thank you for having me.
Thank you. And we'll move on to the 2 questions. What are the current challenges facing the Uvalde Consolidated Independent School District, and what is your role as a board member in facing these challenges?
So everybody mentions COVID, but I want to take the opportunity tonight to mention communication. Communication is completely relevant right now in this time. Without communication, we are not going to be successful. Being an academic advisor for the college, I also taught GED HSE. I also taught TSI math and microbiology lab, and I've seen the developmental process going from an in-person setting to an online virtual setting. I do think it's possible to move online completely. I could 100% support that. I think that we just need to brainstorm, but communication is key. Listening to parents, the students, the teachers, and taking their concerns and actually making it about them and not making it about us.
Thank you. And how do you discuss topics where there's strong disagreements and remain civil? Saying it another way, how can the board work together with differing opinions?
Well, thank you for the question. You know, like I said, I welcome diversity. I like to have communication. I like to have different inputs. I think that if we all thought the same, we would be so lame. So it's nice to be able to have different opinions and to bring those together and to feed off of each other, because we come from different backgrounds and different life experiences. And with that diversity, we could really turn Uvalde into something better and greater. I think one of the biggest challenges that we have right now is that we have a lot of the same people in a lot of this different positions. I currently serve on the Historic Preservation Board. That's nice, but I think it's also nice to just mix it up. You know, add some new faces in there. Don't be afraid to come with any questions. You know, we're here for you, whether we're presenting ourselves united or not. I want to be 100% transparent with all the teachers, staff, students, that that I have your back. Like, I am here for you, to serve you, and you know, and so without you, we don't have anything, and we will not be successful.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate your time.
As mentioned, that's the last of our candidates this evening. I want to thank all you candidates for participating in our event this evening. And before we close, I want to remind our audience that this Thursday, October 8th, Southwest Texas Junior College, or I should say your Southwest Texas Junior College and your Sul Ross State University, have partnered with KSAT Channel 12 News of San Antonio to host the only area debate between Republican candidate Tony Gonzalez and Democratic candidate Gina Ortiz-Jones, who's running for Texas' 23rd Congressional District seat. The debate will be broadcast on KSAT 12. We hope you watch. And thank you once again, and good evening.